Hey, it's Alita. Welcome to Technique Tuesday. Today I'm going to teach you how to get your old brushes from your painting to renewed. So before you throw your brushes away, watch this. And number two, a little hack on how you can sign your paintings with making them look professional without a mess of paint. Stay tuned. Welcome to Technique Tuesday. It's Alita, and I am here today to talk to you about how to clean your brushes. So if you're an acrylic artist and you have old brushes, and I'm talking like some that are looking like, there may be the brushes, you left paint in them or they got left out. Usually it's from not cleaning them good enough. So as soon as you get done, like I always say in class, when you're painting, if you're not using your brush, throw it in the water. Just keep it in the water, saturated at all times. You don't want to let the paint get down into the grooves and then they dry quickly. And then all of a sudden you got a brush like this brush right here is like not even bending, right? Because it's got paint that's caked down into the bottom. So let's say, just say hypothetically, you didn't get your brushes clean, super clean. That's me and here at the studio quite often. So we get brushes that look kind of gross and old, and before you throw them away, try this hack. And I actually learned it from another artist. So Tamara, if you're watching, she is an artist here in our area, and she's like, Lita, before you throw your brushes away or you just use them as like throwaway brushes, you can actually, on a lot of them, be able to kind of get them renewed if you stick them in Murphy's wood cleaner. I know it seems odd to get this for art, but here's what you do. You pour this in to a jar. So for instance, these guys have been sitting and kind of marinating in here for a couple of days. And what happens over time, I don't know if you can see this, it actually starts to change the color a little bit because it's pulling out when it's soaking in this, when it's soaking in the jar of the Murphy's wood cleaner. It actually starts to kind of get into those little fibers and pull the paint out. So I know you guys can't really see this, but it looks all goopy and gross like this, and then I'll wash it with hot water after I've let them soak in here for maybe a day. I've left them here for a couple of days and they're fine, but leaving them in there and kind of pushing down at the bottom, kind of pushing around so it kind of breaks up and it gets in there. The actual wood cleaner will get into the grooves of the fibers and help kind of pull some of that chunks of paint and stuff out. Now, I'm going to say it's not going to bring you back to a brand new brush, but it is going to bring it back to making those bristles and stuff a little bit more pliable and bring a little bit of life back into the brush better than it was before. So give it a try before you guys toss those brushes. The other thing, just a side note, is sometimes those brushes that are a little bit rough or a little bit hard, I throw them into like a separate bin. Like these guys are all kind of like, they're a little bit, not perfect. And sometimes when I'm painting, I actually like a brush that's kind of got a little bit more, not like girth, but you know the word, like where it's like a little bit thicker and it's so I can push on it really hard. And it actually works really well for certain kinds of paintings. So that's just another trick. There are other ways that you can actually trim your bristles down, take them out, like take them actually out of the end and then reinsert them and clamp them back down. My brushes aren't that expensive, so I'm not going to spend $30, $40, $50, $100 on a brush. I'm spending $3, $5, $10 maybe. Very rarely am I going to go over $15 or $20 because I'm just so hard on my brushes. And so this, getting the Murphy's oil, the cleaner, the Murphy's Cleans and Cares Restores Wood Cleaner, try this little hack and see if you can kind of get a little bit more life out of your brushes. In the meantime, brush care in general is, if I'm not using it, where is it at? It's in my water. It's always in my bucket of water. I'm never leaving it out on my table because inevitably you're going to forget. And then what happens? The paint dries in it and then it's a lot harder to get out. So note to self, couple different things to do. When I'm not using it, it's in water. When I've done washed it and it's maybe still left a little paint in it, then I can try the wood cleaner from Murphy. Okay, another little life hack, or not life hack, but I guess it could be a life hack, is it's a painting hack. How do I sign my paintings? So I get this a lot. People want to know, like, okay, when you're painting to sign your signature, you can always do it with your paint and water it down really, really thin and use a really fine paintbrush to do it and make it about the consistency of ink. But another way to do it, it's kind of a cheater way, but it's a great way, and it's something I do all the time. I use a Sharpie and I just sign at the end with my Sharpie. You can also get paint pens. So there are different ones, different kinds of paint pens, different colors, and that's another great way to sign your name. I really like this gold leaf pen. It's actually like super gold-ish. And I sign it with like the tip. So even though it's an angled, chiseled edge, I'll just sign along the edge. I'll just sign along on the very, very tip of it. And it is, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see, it's like so gold. Here, I'll paint my finger. It's so iridescent and gold, and it looks really beautiful, especially if you're painting something that's got a dark background and you want it to pop. So instead of like fork in the eye trying to get it with getting the paint consistency down to like perfection before you sign your name, think about using a paint pen. Who cares? It's not cheating. It's just using the resources that we have today. And I also use, like I said, a Sharpie. It works perfectly well. It's going to stay on your painting. It's going to look great, and you're going to be able to get your signature without sitting there trying over and over and over again to get it right. So 2 fun painting hacks today for your Technique Tuesday. Number 1, how do we reintroduce or reinvigorate our paintbrushes that have gotten kind of old and used? And that's through our Murphy's wood cleaner. I was gonna say wood soap, but it's a wood cleaner. Basically, it's concentrated. It's this one. And how do you sign your painting? Either with a pen, a paint pen, or a Sharpie if you don't want to mess with trying to get your paint perfectly, you know, down to the right consistency and use the right brushes and all of that. So it's just another way to do it. Again, this is ideas and different things and techniques that you can use. Take what works for you and let me know how it goes. Okay, stay tuned. I'm going to give you the life lesson in this too, so don't go away. Hey, so you guys are back for Technique Tuesday, and here it is with our Technique Tuesday in our lives. And as I was thinking about this, about our old brushes and putting them in this like concentrated wood cleaner, it's kind of like this really thick, it's almost like a little bath. I was thinking about like how things in life sometimes need just a little extra care. It's not like, sometimes like even in relationships, we're just ready to throw it out the window. We're done with this, it's over. And instead of maybe throwing things out, looking at first to say, can this be renewed? Can I make this not new, but still usable, and maybe in some ways even a little bit better? And sometimes it just needs a little bit of care. It might be something in your life where either for yourself, like you need just some self-care, like a good old-fashioned bath, or go for a spa day, or make your home spa day where you just take time to put some good facial on, or do like a clay mask, or do something for yourself, or you just unplug from social media, unplug from the outside world, and just give yourself a day to get renewed. And the other way is to think about relationships. Like I said, just because the brush looks like it's ruined doesn't always mean it's ruined. Sometimes it just needs a little extra care. And so before you just decide to bail and say, this is too much, it's over, it's awful, I'm out, I think a lot of times people just throw in the towel before it's time. And maybe there's more work that can be done. It just needs to be dealt with in a different way. And you've only used water before, but you've never even known that, hey, you've got some like Murphy's Cleans, Cares, and Restores wood cleaner that you didn't even know existed. And so that could be like through therapy, through counseling. It could be through doing some research and reading and finding out more about relationship styles or attachment styles, and understanding that you're both coming to the same situation with the same idea. That means if both partners are both in it for the long game, then I would say, yeah, you just need some other tools, maybe tools that you've never even heard about that exist, but that can completely rejuvenate and make you come back to life. So if you find yourself drying out in a relationship or in your life in general, before just doing what you've always done, or just washing with soap and water and not doing something different, or just tossing it because you're like, there's nothing that can be done here. Before you do that, maybe look at other alternatives. And also asking those people that love you around you, because they might actually bring to the table something that you didn't ever think about or know about. Because I feel sometimes that we're in situations and we look at things just like this. We see it through tunnel vision. We don't see that there's actually other perspectives and maybe other things that can come into your life to make the situation better. So don't throw it away too early. Try new things, be open to learning new things, maybe processes that you haven't done before. And also understanding that, just in life for yourself too, if there's more self-care that needs to happen, you'll feel rejuvenated like a new brush if you maybe just take a day to marinate in something really good for you. So that is your life lesson today, guys, on your Technique Tuesday. In regards to signing your artwork, what is the lesson in that? I think the lesson in that is that we don't have to make everything so complicated and hard. I feel like sometimes we feel like things need to be a certain way and they need to be really difficult. And we're a little afraid or even skeptical if there's another way that looks easier because we don't really trust it. Like, Alita, you seriously sign your paintings? I mean, you sell your paintings for thousands of dollars and you're signing with a Sharpie? Does that really work? I don't even know if I trust you because it seems almost too easy. So I think in that perspective, like learning to be open, that even though it's not the traditional way of doing it, doesn't mean it's not a good way of doing it. And also understanding that just because it seems easy doesn't mean it's wrong. It could actually just be a different way to do something that will make your life easier. And so try it for yourself. I'm not saying take my word for it. Maybe you do it with a Sharpie, or maybe you do it, with a gold pen and you're like, Alita, I hate the way that looks. I'm going back to my traditional way. Fine. But don't knock it till you try it. So when something is presented in life and it might seem different and it might seem something that you haven't ever thought about, maybe come to that situation with curiosity and an openness, and then you can always go back to your traditional way if that doesn't work, but give it a try. So those are your 2 life lessons for your 2 techniques of cleaning your brushes and how to sign your artwork. Thank you for tuning in for Technique Tuesday. I am Alita, and I just wanted to remind you today not to forget that you're a 10, you're a 10, you're a 10. Stay tuned for next week when I come back to the studio with more Technique Tuesdays. Whoop, whoop. Ciao for now.